Today we're playing World at War in 2025. We've played Call of Duty 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now we're playing World at War. It's been 17 years now since the game came out, which is crazy because I remember like when it came out, and it's just hard to believe that I'm getting old. It sucks, but it happens. That's life. But oh yeah, it's also 30 degrees below zero today, so I'm sorry if I might sound a little off, a little weird. I am like freezing my ass off. I could see the fucking cold coming out of my breath while I'm talking, so I apologize for that. But on to the topic at hand, which is whether or not this game is worth playing after so many years. We're creeping up on 2 decades since this game's release. So the short answer is yes. This game is definitely worth playing in 2025. It is still a shit ton of fun to play. I think it has aged gracefully, in my opinion. I think, that's probably more subjective because I was around back then. So, I always loved playing the game, but if you're someone who, like, your first Call of Duty game was, like, Modern Warfare 2019 or something like that, and you go back and play this game for the first time in 2025, you might be like, it kind of feels old. I mean, like, the movement feels kind of stiff, it's a little bit slower. It just doesn't feel like a modern game should, I guess you could say. So, but for its time, in 2008, it was fucking amazing. And I think it still is today. I think you still get a lot of fun out of it if you kind of just look past that. If you look past its, its dated gameplay and everything like that, I think you can actually get a lot out of this game. I mean, the atmosphere, World War II, this game nailed it more than, like, any other game. Especially, like, the single player, too, but also the multiplayer, even, Like, just hearing the different announcers for the different teams, like, if you're on the Russian, the Japanese, or the American teams, like, it just feels so immersive. And the gore and everything in this game, like, it was really ahead of its time in so many different ways. And, as a result, it still holds up in 2025. But that's, it all comes down to opinion. Like, if you guys can kind of look at the gameplay and kind of get an idea of what to expect going into it. As far as actual player base is concerned, though, because that's another important thing. I mean, that's the most important thing when we're discussing a game's playability after, X amount of years. So, here's pretty much the basic rundown of it. So, World at War is available on PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, and PC. The gameplay you see right here is the Xbox 360 version that is being played on an Xbox One with backwards compatibility. So that is honestly the platform that I would recommend the most, is if you have an Xbox Series X or a Series S or an Xbox One or even the old 360. World at War is definitely best played in 2025 on the Xbox platform. PlayStation 3 has a lot less players as a result of, you not having PS3 backwards compatibility. So I would just say if you're able to actually access the Xbox version, play that over the PlayStation 3. And as far as PC goes, there are definitely more players on PC than PlayStation 3 and probably Xbox as well. The problem, though, is that the PC version of World at War it's not World at War. That's, like, the best way to describe it. I've talked about this before, and this is really a problem with almost every classic Call of Duty game on PC, is that the PC version just isn't fun, because they just go way too crazy with the custom servers that they have on. You don't actually get to play the vanilla game online. It's all, like, you have to go to the custom server browser and browse different servers, and then connect to a game that way. The problem is, there's no, like, 6v6 classic vanilla servers. It's all, like, up to, like, 40 players in one game, which is insane because the maps and the gameplay and the flow, it was obviously not designed to support that many people. I mean, you had Ground War that was 18 players, but the vast majority of the time that I'm playing World at War, it's at least, like, 25 or more people. And in that case, it's just too chaotic. Like, it doesn't feel like a lot of fun because you spawn and die, spawn and die, spawn and die because there's just too much shit going on. And I said that also about Call of Duty 4. If you can access the Xbox version, please just play that. You'll be so much happier. You'll like it so much better because the PC community just ruined ruined the World at War experience, in my opinion. I know some people may not like to hear that. They might disagree. That's fine. I mean, it has cool things like you can just like instantly level up, or you can level up like really fast, so it's not as much of a grind, but it's not worth it. It really isn't, because you'll see. It's just, it doesn't feel right and it's not good. But yeah, that's pretty much the experience in 2025. The Xbox is the best version. There are plenty of players that are still online. You'll get into matches relatively easily, but it depends. Like, if you're playing, like, on a random weekday, you're probably not going to be able to get games as easily if you're playing, like, on a Saturday. I would definitely recommend that you play on the weekends more than, you know, trying to play on the weekdays, because the player base is definitely a lot smaller than it's been even just compared to a couple of years ago. It still has life left in it, though. There's still people playing the multiplayer and the zombies. Team Deathmatch is pretty much all you're going to get, though. So if you were a fan of, like, the war mode and other game modes that they had in there, like Search and Destroy, yeah, you're not going to really get that in 2025 unless someone just randomly decides to start a lobby and, like, invites a whole bunch of people. Because that happens every now and then with these older Call of Duty games, is that you'll have someone playing, like, an obscure game mode, and they'll, like, invite all the recent players, and you'll be able to actually experience it that way. But yeah, there's no hackers or anything. I mean, you'll encounter someone every now and then, but I swear, like, the hacking problem is not as bad as it was, like, back in 2009, 2010, when I was playing this game, like, during its prime. So, it's, yeah, it's not really that bad. It's not like Black Ops 2, or, I mean, Black Ops 3 is really the worst when it comes to cheaters and hackers. It's completely unplayable these days, sadly. And we'll get into that when the time comes. But just one thing to kind of warn you guys about, because I forgot to mention this, because it doesn't really matter to me, because I bought the DLC like 10, 15 years ago, whatever it was now. Yeah, like 15 years ago. The DLC and the people who have, like, the map packs and the people who don't have the map packs, they're not put into separate lobbies like they are in other Call of Duty games. So, like, for example, if you're playing, like, Call of Duty World War II, or if you're playing even the old Modern Warfare 2, they have it where they only put you into matches with other players that have the same amount of DLC as you do. So if you have one map pack or all the map packs, you're only going to be matched up with people who have all those map packs. The problem with World at War is that there's no separation. So if you don't have the DLC and a DLC map starts up, which is what happened in this gameplay, you just get disconnected from the game and you have to, like, try to find another one. So just warning you guys, you're probably better off getting the DLC, which might not be very practical for a lot of players because it's an old game and the DLC is still, like, pretty expensive. I think it's like $15. So, that's probably, like, the one big negative, is that it's not really good for new players because most of them don't have the map packs and the DLC. So I'd say, yeah, you're probably, to get the best experience, get the DLC also. Hopefully it goes on sale. I'd look out for that. Maybe one day it'll come out on Game Pass. That would be the most ideal, obviously. But yeah, that's pretty much all the information you need to know about World at War in 2025. Let me know in the comment section, do you still play this game 17 years later? And what are some of your favorite memories playing this game?